Hello, everyone. This is One Day at a Time podcast. It captures the challenges we face daily and what we learn or not learn from it. My name is Uche Agbai, or Sensei Uche. Welcome.
We are the wind in the sails of your business. We are your compass. Chart your course towards your targets. Africa Business Radio. Towards a profitable Africa.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of One Day at a Time. My name is Uche Agbai, known in the media circles as Sensei Uche. Now, this podcast is all about my journey through cancer. When I was battling cancer, I have beat cancer. Okay, so thank God for that. But I want to share moments and also, take you through times that were of significance to me through my journey. Okay. The episode is titled What Goes On, and I'm hoping that you like it. I'm going to be sharing this episode, or I'm going to be having friends or former colleagues who have turned friends on this episode with me, and they'll be sharing, what it was like being around me through at the point where I was still going to work. I still wanted my life to still be a normal life. So when I found out that I had a cancerous tumor, I was still going to work. I was still working, trying to just, live like I did before I found out I was sick. Okay? So guys, come on board. Let's have a fantastic time. My guests today are very, very fantastic on-air personalities in their own rights. The first person I'm going to bring on is Melody Hassan. She is an on-air personality with City 105.1 FM, a fantastic show host, and also a voice that resonates amongst the young people in Nigeria. Melody, thank you for being on the show. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you for having me, Mr. Sensei.
Okay, so for the purpose of this podcast, you can call me Sensei. Melody always calls me Mr. Sensei.
Sorry, Sensei.
Yeah, and that's from, the time when I was at City FM and she was, coming up as a presenter. But now she is a fantastic presenter. Joining us also on this podcast is the voice, the one and only Quincy Jones, the host of the Drive Time Show and more. And he's a MC hype man. Right now has a lot of strands attached to his hair. Quincy, thank you so much for doing this, bro. How you doing, man?
Mr. Sensei, I'm good. I must express, Mr. Sensei, that I don't hype anymore. I don't live.
Why you say they call me Mr. Sensei? When did that start? Okay, so you guys, okay, let me finish. I am delighted to have both of you on the show, and I want you to be as honest as possible because it was something that I went through and you experienced firsthand when I was still working at City FM, what it was like, and you saw me go through that, that experience. But let me just ask this random question. What was it like working with me? Should I say ladies first? Melody.
So, working with you, I wasn't really working with you. It was more like I was working under you.
It will? Okay.
Yeah, I was interning with you at the time, so I wasn't working with you. So it's
well, to me, you're working with me, so yes.
So, to be very honest, personally, you and I, we had a very good relationship for, I know that when I was interning with you, you gave me opportunity to work with you. We're always coming to me, even when I went to meet you, so Sensei, I'd like to do this for you. And like, oh, okay, cool, nice, that's nice. So we used to work on a countdown together for top 10 countdown, where I create these artists, the songs and everything. And when you come out, submit it to Twitter. Also, these are the songs that we have for today. That the things you're for, that the things they're going to say. So, yeah, working with you was good. And I think that it was the major thing that stood out for me at the time was when, something happened at work and you went into the office and you spoke to the boss at the time and you're like, oh no, Melody's this, Melody's that, Melody's that. Even when I wasn't there, you went on to speak for me and I'm like, okay, so I didn't even know that this person saw me that way. Because one thing that happens a lot as people coming up in spaces, maybe trying to be a presenter and stuff, you're always worried that people don't see you, would not necessarily see like your ability and the things that you can do.
Yeah.
So it was really good for me to know that you saw me and you thought I was good at what I was doing and you thought that I deserved a chance and you didn't have to do it. Like it's not like I requested it of you to speak for me, but you went on and did it on your own. And it was when I found out that you did that, when I was told that, oh, Sensei went and spoke for you and stuff, that made me feel really good that, oh, this person really did see me. So working with you was good. It was really good.
Definitely, I can see you.
I had jokes for days.
Oh, okay,
You always
yeah.
had
My comedy career hasn't kicked off yet, but yeah, we'll work on that.
bro, thank God. It's always high.
Quincy Jones, how about you, bro?
Please, my story is long. Am I supposed to summarize?
Yes.
Yes, please.
I will try to summarize. In the year 2012.
Oh, come on.
So when I first met you, Sensei, I didn't like. No, I did not, honestly, because I'm just like, wait, who is this guy? Who just won the 4-man alone. Do you understand? Because we used to have like lots of moments together when we move, go to events and all of that stuff, hang out, go on air together and all of that stuff. Next thing I'm probably looking at, I think it was Linda Ikeji that was the hardest at the moment. Then looking at Linda Ikeji, searching for stories, and I see you for one major place like that. Like this guy doesn't go there alone, invite boys, all of that stuff. And then later on, he's like, oh, hey, how are you? Yeah, fine. It was all cool and stuff. And then over time, to be honest, I understood that, different people live their lives in different ways, right? And you chose to live that way. Although you also did care about a lot of people around you, right? And then you get one time where I don't want to say good things. I want to say bad things. You get one time where you chase me, come on loud. You pay me.
Okay, Quincy, we will not.
That time they're supposed to, I am. Wait, dog.
Quincy, come on down.
The baby died. God. That was the time Oscar gave me Street Tech to anchor. So I was just around, just hanging around, say, okay, I go record soon. It's like, dude, what are you doing here? It's like, come on, man, it's not for interns. I won't enter ground. Jesus.
Okay, Quincy, yeah.
But other than that, nah, man, you were absolutely amazing. I did do a lot of all these things they happen. I was actually observing you a lot, the energy, how you presented the stuff. And then I also did monitor how you were perceived, right? In as much as you did your stuff by yourself, there was a certain level of respect that everyone in the building had for you, right? It was something I really wanted to know about, something I wanted for myself as well, Other than that as well, how you did your job, it was interesting for me as well. The level of energy was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Normal.
Well, let me ask you, as regards the job, did I tell any one of you that I was sick? How did you find out that I was sick? Did I relay it to any of you?
No, you did not. But so around that period, in the evenings, I was around you almost for, I don't know what I was doing at that point in time, but in the evenings, I was around you for a bit. And I noticed that you were bleeding, right?
From the nose.
The first time you complained about sore throat to me and all of that, I remember clearly. And then I was telling you, I get infections every once in a while in my throat and nasal stuff that basically I used Ampiclox at the time. That's what I used. And I told you if you could get Ampiclox or you go to the hospital and tell them to give you aminophylline at the time, because that's what clears up my own chest. And that's what I was telling you at the time. Just trying to get antibiotics. And you said, oh, cool. And then maybe like 2 days or a week after, I don't recall the timeline. There was a time I was the one who went to get you tissue. You were actually bleeding heavy. Like the blood, no one stopped. That you can't do like this for almost 1 hour.
With my head up.
I got scared. I got very scared because I'm like, feeling late. I just, nah, man, it just happened. You'll be fine. And then the following day, I was watching and consistently you almost had either cotton or tissue stuck in your nose at almost every point in time.
Yeah. And
I couldn't have the conversation with you because I felt maybe it was a bit, intrusive. I had a conversation with, and I'm not sure if it was Namdi or it was Keisho at the time, but I know that I did speak about it. And I don't know if they knew something or not, but no one told me anything. right? They just blew it off like, nah, it's nothing. It's nothing too serious, all right? And then it was okay. It was fine until you did not come to work.
Yeah.
And then there was that part. You see that space, that period? That's like my story, basically.
Okay. So
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely do. We'll get to that, Quincy. Yeah. How about you, Melody? Did you have any idea?
So I think the first time that I knew something was wrong was when, because of course I know what time you're supposed to be at the office. So when I know that's like before 5, maybe like 10 minutes before 5, I know you're okay. Sensei's already on his way. So I'll go get what I need to get for you so that when you come, I can just, give it to you that this is what I've worked on for today. And of course, when you come to the office, when you drive in, you like to sit in your car for some minutes. So you're always in your car for, say, 10-15 minutes before you come upstairs. So I'll definitely see you coming around and I'll be downstairs or something. So that day I saw you driving and you sat in your car and I saw that you were bleeding and you had tissue you were using to clean your nose where you had the blood in your car. You were sitting in your car and you were cleaning blood from your nose. That was the first day I saw you. I'm like, okay. But I just shrugged like nothing was happening. Maybe it was just a one-time thing. So subsequently, and also every time you drive in, you see your car from in, and you're always like something's dripping from your nose and you're cleaning it off. It was in that moment that I knew that something was wrong and you were sick. But of course, I didn't know it was cancer.
You didn't know what it was.
But I knew. Yeah, I didn't know what it was, but I knew you were sick. And I also noticed that when we're having conversations about what I'm working on and all of that, your energy was not as high as you used to be. Sometimes you were always talking weak, like you were really tired. So I'm like, something is wrong with you, but I didn't know what it was. But I didn't know it was cancer, but I knew.
What I was trying to do at that point in time was not affect my work colleagues or burden anybody with what I was going through, to be honest. Like I said earlier, I was trying for my life to be as regular as possible. When I mean as regular as possible, I was trying to not even show. I always had like tissue. Well, Quincy, you guys were right. I always had tissue in the car. I always had cotton in the car. So I clean up before I come into the office. Even while in the office, in the studio, I still have my tissue. Because for me, the minute somebody or my work colleagues know what I'm going through, that's going to be a lot of emotions. And I don't want anybody being weighed down. I don't want anybody being weighed down with what I was going through. And also, there's something you mentioned, my energy. It was crazy. A listener actually pointed it out to me. Yeah, at one time, I was on the show and then listener, was like, Sensei, you sometimes your voice, goes low. Your voice, you cough a bit on the radio. And listener mentioned it and was like, what's wrong with you? I think you need to take care of yourself. I just shrugged it. I was like, nah, it's fine. Your boy is stressed and all of that. That's what's causing all that. But yeah, I was going through a lot as at that time. Okay, so Quincy, you mentioned that you've had ear infections in the past. Yeah?
Yeah.
Melody, have you had any type of ear infections in the past?
No.
No, as in nothing. Sore throats and all the you are the pick of the bunch. As in, God really bless you. So, Quincy, do you get scared when you have ear infections now?
Not ear. Not ear. It's
throat.
No ear. No ear. It's always here.
Sore throat.
Yeah.
So do you get scared?
Yeah. Okay, so, since we are saying it, ever since that happened to you, I'm not even lying. Like, my whole life has been very fucked. I'm not even lying. I just feel like, wait. So, I really thought about what could have caused it, right? It keeps, even till, I think 3 days ago, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and it came up again. It's stuck in my head. Almost any time where anything do me, I fear.
Nah, don't be, man. Yeah. Don't be.
Says you know if you understand. But I'm not even lying. It's real life. I'm not even playing.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, you used to hype. You didn't used to smoke now.
Yeah.
At best, you do that.
Yeah.
You used to hype. You didn't used to smoke. Waiting one custom. You two, they shout. Is it shout? So, shout. Maybe I don't catch up.
Okay.
I won't go hospital, give me antibiotic. I go better. I say, okay, I'm fine. And then if anything happens again, I'm super scared. You know? Yeah, so that type of stuff. Okay. I'm almost cut for life. Thank you.
Bele about that. It was not my intention to scar any of you.
No, let me. Come on, it's a joke.
Now that you know, let me just take you back. Like when you found out, of course, now that everything has happened, let me take you back to when we were at City FM. To the time when you didn't know, but you know, I had that bleeding in my nose and all of that, and the symptoms were there. What would you say to me as a work colleague, trying to live a normal life, coming to work, having a cancerous tumor in his nose, and just trying to be, you know, an everyday guy? What would you say to me with the knowledge that you have now? What type of words would you say to me?
Melody, they're asking you a question.
This is the part where Quincy is like...
Very honest, I never have the right words for things like this. Even when I eventually found...
There are no right words.
Even when we all found out at work, I was speechless. I think I messaged you. I called you, right?
There's
I
one of them.
I was crying.
Message and calling. Okay, yes, crying.
Yeah, I was crying, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I don't want to do this. This is why I've not been able to call, because I know I'm not know the right thing to say. Oh my God! Now this is because I'm not trying to like ruin your own energy, but in such situations, as a person, I never know the right thing to say. I'm always short of words. I have a way of taking in people's pain upon myself and internalizing it and reacting.
So you see why I didn't want you guys to know?
Yeah. So I always find myself in a situation where I put myself in their shoes and now try to be them. So instead of trying to help the person, you know, go through that feeling, I'm not taking on the feeling and I'm not exhibiting the feeling. I'm not making myself emotional and projecting that energy to that person. And in that moment, that's not what the person needs. The person need people to be strong. You need people to give you like, don't worry, you're going to kill this energy. But as a person, I don't know how to. So I always like to take myself out of the situation, deal with it personally. So when I come out, I'm not projecting. And even when I try to do that, you can still tell from my voice, from the way I'm talking, that I'm very emotional about it. Because I promise you that before I even called you, I went through an entire mental thing. I'm saying, Melody, you're not going to cry. You're going to call him and say, Sensei, this is going to be good. But the minute I heard you on the phone, my heart broke. So I'm just like, how do I go through this conversation with this person? So I never know what to say in such a situation. But now that you're out of it, like in that moment, the only thing I said was, it's so amazing how you handled it. Like you were actively still trying to live a regular life. I never for once saw you at the office crying. Because even me that I heard the story, I'm crying on your behalf. So I'm just imagining what you are going through. Like not everyone will be able to handle that the way you did, like graciously and show up at work and still try to. You were the one telling, it's fine, it's going to be okay, which I should have been the one telling you. But you handled it with so much strength and with so much grace.
But looking back now, do you think, having gone through everything that, you know, I went through and I didn't tell you guys back then, do you guys think that I should have told you guys, like you were my colleagues, we were in the same office, the same building every day? Would it have been helpful if I had let you guys know what I was going through? Quincy, do you think it would have made any difference?
Do you owe anyone that explanation? No.
Okay.
But for emotional support, I think you did. Because I don't know, I don't even want to imagine. I was one of the last people to know, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
I think it was meant to tell me. I can't remember who told me exactly. But I was one of the last people to know in the entire building. I'm not even playing. Like, they just dropped the bomb on me. Mr. Benny just called me to come earlier to the office. He's like, you're anchoring drive time today. And I'm like, how now? You know, and all of that, get to all that part. Yeah, so I feel like you should have told people for the emotional support, because, I mean, a lot of people actually care about you, legit, you know, and they would have been able to help you move with it a bit, because there's no way, I don't know how you were feeling at the time, but I feel like you must have been drowning at that time, right? And a little more emotional support would have helped at the earliest stage, you know. But for what it's worth, yeah, make we not see that kind of thing again. But if we see him again, make the shot tell people where they around.
Okay. Everybody listening, this is One Day at a Time. I'm talking to Melody, Hassan, and Quincy Jones. They're former colleagues of mine at City FM. Guys, the conversation has been fantastic. I want to round off here, but before we round off, let me ask you this. I know you have plenty things to say, Quincy. Let me ask you, did you think I was going to make it?
Hey! Hey! Oh, God. Sensei, look, see, there were different moments and different times that I'll be in the studio and I'll personally cry. I'm also empathic in nature. I'm not even lying. I don't know how people must have caught me there. Maybe Shane or somebody. I don't know, somebody sharp, but some people don't catch me. Because who no catch me, self, I go day. Because maybe a little self-centered, but I did want to move up the ranks, but not that way. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody could touch that show. Nobody was allowed to touch the show. You know? Or Mr. Benny that was the head of programs. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, getting into that position at the detriment of someone's or at someone else's detriment, to be honest, because cancer, bro.
But I think we've had a conversation. I told you that it wasn't at my detriment. It was supposed, like you were supposed to.
That they gave me that show to host. Full stop. There's no other explanation. I'm not foreseen to host, bros. Melody, am I lying, please?
No, you're not. And also, for Quincy, it was a lot of pressure. Because
yes. Thank God for people like Melody, actually, real life. Honestly, I wouldn't even lie. Melody was actually there for me legit. Almost every single day. I swear on my life.
It was a lot of pressure for him because now he had to prove a point to people that he could do
tell you.
Job. Then also he had to also take into cognizance that people will always say he came on because Sensei left. So it was like, I'm out of pity or am I here because I could do the job? So it was a lot of emotional stress for him actually.
Oh, man. Sorry.
And there's also, Sensei, it's not your fault. Relax. Now you give yourself cancer. This uncle. And there's also about they say, you know, the City FM G's plenty.
Yeah, we're not talking City FM, Quincy.
Wait. No, sorry.
Quincy,
okay. Sorry, not City FM as a brand. I mean, back then, there's always gist, you know, in that place. There's gist everywhere, basically. But then at that time, there was so much gist. They say MD did not want me to host the show, that I'm not ready. And then it was now fight between you and Benny, fighting the MD, telling the MD that I must host it. Benny saying I must host it. And then, what was this conversation again? Then it was Benny who told me that you said, if I did not host the show, this I won't forget. Say, if I did not host the show, you know go come back. Hey, I'm not even joking. Say, that happened, you know? And Benny's like, yeah. And then we really have the conversation, so you cannot let me down, you know? So, you're gonna...
Okay, guys, Quincy, Melody, Quincy.
Quincy's okay.
So it's been fun having you both on this episode. Work goes on. So what I'm trying to, for everybody listening, what I was trying to bring out from this episode is that I was trying to go on with my work. I was trying to go on with my life despite everything that I was going through. And also I had people around me at the office and at the time, and they still do care about me. So if you are going through something and you still have to go to work every day, look at the people you can, rest your head on your shoulders, and look at your colleagues also, and try to figure out who, you can tell and who you can approach and who you can unburden to. Not everybody, you can't unburden to everybody because some people might not be able to handle it, but you're not alone in what you're going through. Okay, as much as you're trying for your life to remain the same, as much as you're trying for work to go on, as much as you're trying to be who you are before whatever you are facing now started, know that there are people around you that care about you. Okay, so at this point now, what I'm asking you to do is look forward and then look back based on what you have heard and the conversation that I've had with Melody and Quincy today. We are how many years past what happened in 2016? And check this out now. We're coming back and I'm finding out that, yes, they should have known, or maybe they should have been part of my journey. So I want to say thank you to Quincy and thank you to Melody again. Thank you for coming on today's episode. Work goes on the podcast one day at a time. My name is Uche Agbai Sensei Uche. Follow me on socials. My social media handle is at Sensei Uche, SENSEIUCHE, across every platform. Okay? And until next time, keep living life, facing challenges one day at a time. Thank you.